Hey guys, this is cycle 2, week 21 of CC. We're going to start off with math, the associative law. This one can be hard for little kids. You can just chant it and people can just do the open and shut if they can't keep up with it. For the bigger kids, I always like to make them do the motions while they sing it. So if you're going to sing it, it goes like this. The associative law for addition goes something like this. Do, 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 do. Opening parenthesis A plus B, closing parenthesis plus C equals A plus opening parenthesis B plus C close parenthesis. Dum, 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 dum. The associative law for multiplication goes something like this. Opening parenthesis A times B, closing parenthesis times C equals A times opening parenthesis B times C close parenthesis. First conjugation, pluperfect tense. We did where's the air, blue and perfect? Air, London. That's kind of a weird one. I've also seen air out dirty socks. Like what do you do with stinky socks? You air them. The tune is London Bridge. Eram, eras, erat. Eramus, eratus, erant. First conjugation, pluperfect tense. What is the third law of thermodynamics? The tune is This Land Is Your Land. The third law of thermodynamics explains that it is impossible to reach the state of absolute zero. Third law of thermodynamics. English, a conjunction. The tune is The More You Get Together. A conjunction is a word used to connect words or phrases or clauses together. And then next week can keep going in this tune, so you have to kind of just stop abruptly. Timeline. World War II, and President Franklin D. Roosevelt. That's a really fast one, so if you just want to go President Franklin D. Roosevelt, that's fine. Stalin of the USSR, we show his mustache. Stalin of the USSR. Now this sign kind of has like a diagonal down slanty stab, and the Katyn massacre. The United Nations formed, done this one before, United Nations formed, the Cold War, this is a sign for cold, Cold War, Gandhi, looks like you're about to pinch something on its side, Gandhi, and India's independence. Jewish state established, we show our beard 3 times, Jewish state, and then we show our hand and establish it. Established. Mao is an M, our 3 fingers over our thumb. Mao, and show our fist. Communist victory, victory in China. We show the buttons on our coat. So World War II and President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Stalin of the USSR and the Katyn massacre. The United Nations formed. The Cold War, Gandhi, and India's independence. Jewish state established, Mao and communist victory in China. History. Okay, this is a very 80s song. And so I feel like if you guys want to just dance around to the motions of this one, it works just fine. But here's some motions. In the 1980s, you come together with your middle finger down to your thumb, and then you bring it to 0. So 80s. British Prime Minister. So Prime Minister, it's like the touch your brain. The prime, and then you bring 3 to the side. Prime Minister. Her name was Margaret Thatcher, so we're gonna do an M, and we're gonna boogie our M. So you can have 2 fists. Margaret Thatcher. In the 1980s, ooh, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and American President. So the sign for president is this, and American President, and we're going to do 2 R's, Ronald Reagan. They worked together to end the Cold War. This is really fast. So they worked together to end the Cold War, lessen big government, we're smushing it down, and strengthen the conservative movement. So it's just kind of a groover. Tell me about the end of the Cold War. In the 1980s, ooh, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and American President Ronald Reagan worked together to end the Cold War, lessen big government, and strengthen the conservative movement. So that's our history song. And the last one, Belize, kind of sounds like Feliz. So we're gonna do Feliz Navidad to the Central American countries. So it goes, Belize, Guatemala. Wait, am I doing that right? Yeah. Belize, Guatemala. And then we're gonna skip El Salvador. Honduras, Nicaragua. Don't forget El Salvador. These are some Central American countries. Here we go again. Belize, Guatemala. Honduras, Nicaragua. Don't forget El Salvador. These are some Central American countries. Awesome. If you want to say Guatemala like someone from Guatemala, you say Guatemala. So that's fun. And that's it for week 21.